Welcome. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the biggest scam to avoid in high-ticket health coaching. See, there's a lot of scams out there, and people have been concerned. People are afraid, like, how do I know if this is the right thing to invest in? Or how do I know when something is a good decision to spend money online? There's a lot of people who are fearful, especially with all of the scams that are available right now, and baby boomers being taken advantage of left and right, and there's so many questions, very little answers. So today we're going to be talking about the biggest scam to avoid in high-ticket health coaching. And but before I share that, I want to tell a story about I had hired a man to come over and build us this custom piece of furniture. He was a friend of mine, and he has been working with his hands, building houses, building buildings, and working in carpentry for since he was a little boy. And he had recently gotten into an accident, and he basically got his arm caught in a wood splitter, and it was bad. And after several surgeries, he got it better. And I was just talking to him and saying, how have things been? He's like, well, life's been really hard financially. The economy has been tanking with COVID, and this accident really made it difficult for me to work. And he was talking about all these challenges he was facing financially with some of his health challenges. I'm like, hey, you have such great experience and knowledge in construction. Why don't you take the knowledge that you have and be a consultant for other businesses who are looking to have these building projects? Because you can get paid quite a bit of money just taking the knowledge you already have. You're more knowledgeable than many people who are actually in the industry, and they're willing to pay for a consultation on these big projects. You can save them tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, just with the advice that you could share on the phone. That wouldn't require you to be so actively involved. And he's like, you know what? That's true. There's a lot of people who do some dumb stuff that I could help them to avoid a lot of mistakes. And yeah, people ask me for advice all the time. I'm like, yeah, and you could build a business and monetize your advice. People would be happy to pay you a price for that. And he's like, yeah, that would be nice. And so I shared with him a resource for this online challenge that really helped me to learn how to monetize my knowledge online, and I found it to be beneficial. It's just like $100, and I shared that with him, and he's like, yeah, no, all that stuff is a scam. And I'm like, what do you mean it's a scam? He said, all that money that make money online, they're all just trying to rip you off. They're all a scam. I'm like, but you do realize that I have an online business, right? And in our online business, we've invested in the one that I'm sharing with you, and invested in other online coaches and mentors and courses. We've applied those principles and grew our business. He's like, it doesn't work. It's all just a scam. And I'm just like, wow, well, the house that we're in, the vehicle that we drive, the money that we're paying him with, all of this is made from our online business, and applying the principles to these online coaches and courses who have taught us these business strategies and helped us to grow our business to multiple six figures, which, had we not invested in our education, there's no way we would have had the business to be able to hire him and our team and everything that we do. But no matter what, at the end of the conversation, he was still just really set and determined that every coach, every course, anyone who's teaching you how to make money online, it's all a scam. And so he left still confused. And you know what scam means? This is the biggest scam to avoid in high-ticket health coaching. And SCAM is an acronym, you see. SCAM stands for Still Confused About Money. And this is a story that I go into more detail in my book, the book on high-ticket health coaching. And I realized that a lot of people are, in fact, just that. They're still confused about money. So it's really important, where a lot of people are wanting to grow a health education business or a high-ticket health coaching business, but they have well-intended family members who are constantly warning them about these different scams, or they're saying that they want to give this business advice and they're struggling financially. But what we have to understand is you only take advice from people who have the results that you want, because the when you're taking advice from family members or friends who have never ran a business, do not understand what it means to be successful or profitable in that area, then it's going to be hard. They could be well intended, but it's kind of like taking relationship advice from your friend who's had 3 divorces and he's working on his 4th. Like that don't make no sense, right? Well, that I believe is one of the real scam, is still being confused about money, because that confusion leads into poor decisions, and those poor decisions show up in our bank account, and they make it more difficult in our business and the people that you're called to serve. So what I want to share with you, these 5 money scams that people believe that prevents them from getting past 6 figures. It keeps them struggling in their business. So these are the money scams. The first money scam that people believe is that if a person is successful, they wouldn't want to teach others how to succeed. And that is something that I've heard so many times. They're like, oh, if they really did have money, they wouldn't be teaching me how to get money, because it's just creating competition for them. And I find it so fascinating and unfortunate that people have this belief that if someone's successful, there's no way they'd want to teach other people how to succeed, because they have this competition mindset. Well, first of all, I don't believe that there's often like people want to portray the economy as a pie. They're like, well, if that person's succeeding, that means their success is threatening my success, because there's only so many pieces of the pie. And once you're out of the pie, then there's only so much to go around. So if someone's got a large portion of the pie, they don't want to give up their share. And that's how people look at the economy. I don't believe the economy is like a piece of an apple pie. I believe the economy is like a garden. When God created man, he put man into a garden. And when you look at an apple tree, the very act of consumption creates the seed for reproduction. So the act of consuming actually produces more fruitfulness. And it's been said that any fool can count the number of seeds in an apple, but only God knows the number of apples in a seed. So there is an infinite possibility of growth for the economy and for opportunities for people. And I believe in this law of infinite abundance, that the law of infinite abundance states that there will be more than enough for everyone to have more than enough, and there will still be more than enough left over. And the big thing, the big shift for me was when I began to realize, wait a second, if I want to succeed in business, I get paid when I get people results. I get paid from the testimonials, the success stories. When people are happy, satisfied with what I deliver, then they want to share and tell their friends. And when they tell their friends, it brings more business to me. And like our business is based on like a subscription where people pay us on a monthly basis. And so if I'm just taking people's money, or I'm not helping them to get their health results with their business, with their health that they're coming to my business for, then there's no way that they're going to renew and buy more from me next month. And because we've been able to generate over $500,000 from largely subscriptions and people who are paying on a regular basis, that just shows that I only get paid when I help them to succeed. And an early mentor of mine, he helped me to realize that your success is dependent upon the success of others. So what you can do essentially is, if you forget your goal, your objective, your interest, and you just obsess on the success of your students, and you find out what's everything you possibly do to help them to succeed, then the finances you want, the success you want, the business growth you want, that is an effect. That's just a result. But the cause is produced by you loving your clients so much and seeking for how can you serve them in a way to help them to reach their goals, to get them from where they are to where they want to be, and closing that gap. And that's when you get paid. So when I saw that, it was like a big breakthrough for me, because I realized, whoa, I don't have to worry about all the things that I want to do. I could just focus on what are their goals? Where are they now? Where do they want to be? And how can I close the gap? And there was so much freedom lifted off of me, because now I'm like, wow, I could come from a place of service and realize, like Stephen Covey says in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he says highly effective people create win-win scenarios where everybody involved wins. And I remember I had some poor mentors who would feel that other people's success was threatening theirs, and they would feel intimidated, and it made it kind of difficult where, like, if I succeeded, then they felt intimidated, and there was just like this odd dynamic. And I was like, wow, maybe the way to get ahead is a win-lose kind of thing. Like, maybe if I win, they have to lose, or if they win, I have to lose. But it never quite settled right until I met successful health educators who were entrepreneurs, who love the Bible, who love serving people. And I noticed that John Rose, one of the early mentors of mine, he refused to make any decision unless he could create. And he would often verbalize, he would think, he would actually put effort into like, how can we make this a win-win-win scenario so that everybody involved is able to win through this decision? And it was so refreshing to me to see that this style of leadership that refused to win at the expense of another. And I realized that the most successful people have this mindset of they are looking to help others succeed, because we don't win as individuals, we win as a team. We don't lose as individuals, we lose as a team. So if there is a win, if I win at your loss, I lose greatly. I lose out on a success story. I lose out on like my own conscience that doesn't do well. I lose out on the reviews that can come back, the referrals that can come back. I lose tremendously. And what I realize is you can find mentors who have an abundant mindset, who are looking for win-win scenarios, who genuinely succeed when you succeed. And that's why I love the coaching industry, because you, as a coach, as a health coach, you succeed when you help others succeed with their health. So you're financially motivated to actually help them get results. And those who just take money and leave, sure, you might make a quick buck in the short term, but in long term, your reputation is going to be shot, and you won't be able to have returning customers, and nobody's going to refer others to you. In fact, they're going to warn against you. So there's really no great gain from scamming people and not delivering on the promises that you gave. So what I realized, I really like the way that Jesus puts it, because he shows that the path to greatness is through the service of many. If you want to live a great life, if you want to have a great business, if you want to have a great income, then the key to greatness is through the service of many. And this is what he says in Matthew 23:11. He says, "But he that is greatest among you shall be your servants." I mean, how clear is that? It's by service that we are able to succeed and have great levels of success, contrary to popular belief. In fact, I also like the way the late Zig Ziglar states it. He said that you can have anything in life, anything you want in life, if you help enough people get what they want in life. And that's truly reality. So a lot of people have this belief that if a person is successful, they wouldn't want to teach others how to succeed. And really, it's just scarcity. That's the type of, that is a money scam that keeps people broke, struggling, and their business not flourishing, because this competition where other people are going to lose when you win, this doesn't help you to win. In order to win in business, we have to be team-oriented. Business is a team sport. It's not an individual competition. This is, and profitable partners is one of the keys that unlocks greater level of success. So if someone is successful, those are the very people that are most motivated to help others succeed, because they know that they don't get to where they want to go without helping other people to get where they want to go. And that was one of the biggest breakthroughs that I experienced, that now I've been blessed with a team of 7, and I'm constantly looking at how can I help them to achieve their goals. If I didn't do that, there's no way they'd want to work with me in doing what we get to do. So what's a second money myth that many people believe that keeps them struggling in business? Well, the second one is only desperate businesses hire coaches. And It's really interesting to me how people who maybe they have fitness goals, or maybe they're a health entrepreneur and they're looking at considering business coaching. They're like, yeah, but I'm not that desperate. And it's fascinating because it's only the amateurs who think that they don't need a coach, but it's the professionals in all areas of life know that they need a coach. You look at professional athletes who are Olympic athletes. Every Olympic athlete has a coach, has often multiple coaches, Olympic coaches that help them succeed. Highly successful business CEOs who they're not desperate, but they're successful and they want to take to the next level. They invest in coaches. You look at in every domain of life, people who are thriving and professionals and in the top outstanding categories, they all invest and they recognize the need of investing in coaches, mentorships, training to help them to be peak performers. And when we look at it, truly every great master had a mentor. Every great champion had a coach. Every great influencer had an instructor. Every great author had an advisor. Every great teacher had a tutor. And every great king had a counselor. So when you look behind each one of these great minds, you can show me a successful person. I'll show you a successful coach. It's the amateurs that are thinking that they don't need a coach. That's when people struggle in their business, is when they're thinking that, oh, it's all up to me, and are not open to outside counsel. In fact, King Solomon, who is the wisest and wealthiest man who ever lived in human history, do you think that King Solomon could teach us a thing or two about having some financial breakthroughs? Do you think that we can learn something? How about a yes in the chat if you think so? So what does King Solomon say about mentors and counselors? In Proverbs 15:22, he says, without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. So we see that the wisest and wealthiest man in human history saw the need of having not just a counselor, not just a coach, not just a mentor, but a multitude of mentors on a variety of different subjects. You look at every great king, they have counselors. And he even goes further and he says, you know, if you want to avoid disappointment, and a lot of times you set out, you have a dream, you are like purpose driven and you're ready to go build your health education business and you want to go impact the world, and you've got a purpose for your profit, you got a purpose for your business, but it says that the way to avoid disappointment in life is through great coaching, through great counselors, through having mentors and a multitude of mentors. Otherwise, purposes are disappointed without counsel. Remember that whenever the ideas are thinking, well, it's like, I'm not that desperate to go pay for a coach. I can figure this stuff out on my own. Where professionals, they know that even if they could figure it out on their own, that it's better to hire a coach. In fact, that brings us to the third money scam that a lot of people believe keeping them under six figures is number 3, you should never pay for information that you can find for free. And this is an idea that a lot of people, I had mentors early on that they're like, why would I pay someone for it when I could go to YouTube or Google, I could figure it out myself? And what they don't realize is that there are other costs that are not being calculated with this decision, where this mentality where we realize that really there's no such thing as free. Everything has a price. Someone paid a price for all the free stuff. And if it is free, then it's costing you money. If it's costing you money, then it's largely going to save you time. So and which one is more valuable, time or money? And I will tell you that I believe that time is not money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. And I could prove it to you. Because let's say that I have a check for you. I have a check that is written to your financial freedom. It's got your name on it, and it's a blank check that you can write any dollar amount that you desire, anything. And I can guarantee that it would clear for you and you have the money in your bank account and you would be financially free and your family. So my question is, How many of you would like to have a check like that? Yeah? Put a I would in the chat if you would like to have a check that is a blank check that you can write any number and it'd be yours clear and it'd be in your bank. But there's only one requirement. When you cash the check, you have to give up your life right now. Now, how many people would still be interested? See all the hands go down. When I ask this question before, when I'm speaking on stages, then people's hands in the audience, they drop immediately. It's like, why is that? Because time, your life, is more valuable than money. And so many struggling entrepreneurs are constantly trying like this DIY, this do-it-yourself mentality, where they're constantly trying to spend more time to figure out how to save a few dimes. And it doesn't work that great. I remember a mentor of mine was sharing with me, and he was so proud that he got this cracked screen on his phone, and he's like, well, why go pay $60 to go to the screen repairman to fix it when I could go spend like 10 hours and figure it out how to do myself? So he went over there and he had to buy this special tool that he didn't have. He watched a bunch of videos. He clicked around and it still was kind of crooked, but at least he didn't have to fork up some money. And what I realized is struggling entrepreneurs value money more than they value time. And even if they may not, even if they think they value money more, it's like your actions speak louder than words. And what happens is when you pay for, there's two ways to learn. There are two ways to learn how to like grow a business, how to heal your body, how to get clients, how to publish a best-selling book. There's two ways to learn, like whatever goal that you have. And the first is you can learn from your own mistake. The second way is you can learn from the mistakes of others. Learning from your own mistakes is going to cost you time. Learning from the mistakes of others is going to cost you money. But time is infinitely more valuable than money. So anytime that I'm investing in a coach, I know that I'm buying my time back at a discount. I am cutting a check so I can cut the line. What I'm actually paying for, I'm paying for speed. And because time is more valuable than money, I would much rather be more generous with my money so I could save time. And I'd much rather I'd rather, and where struggling entrepreneurs would rather be more generous with their time so they can save money. But money is replenishable. You can spend money and make it back. Time lost can never be gathered again. So one of the money scams that many people believe is that you should never pay for information that you can find for free. But you know what I've learned is that free information is worth every penny. As you can see it on the screen, the money scam is that you should never pay for information that you can find for free. The next money scam that many people believe keeping them stuck is that high ticket prices are a red flag for scams. And what do I mean by high ticket? High ticket is anywhere between $5,000 and up. And it could go from $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, just different prices depending on what it is. And so some people think that like larger prices, programs or coaching or courses, that automatically means that it's a scam. They're trying to take your money. But let's look at that a little bit deeper, because first of all, if someone is successful and they're going to provide some coaching or mentorship to guide people how to do what they've done, then like successful people value their time. They recognize that their time is valuable and they can use their time doing something else that is more profitable. Like for me, like I've been paid $10,000 for a 45-minute speech. If I know that I'm able to make that kind of money speaking from stage and sharing from people, then I mean, I'm not going to want to just take every single phone call that someone's like, hey, I want to call you and just pick your brain. It's like, no, thank you, because there's gonna be other things that I could rather do, and that would be more profitable. So when someone is successful, they value their time, but they desire to help other people too, and recognizing too that people who pay attention. Jesus puts it this way: where your heart is, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So the heart follows the pocketbook. So when people pay a little, they pay a little attention. When they pay a lot, they pay a lot of attention. When they pay nothing, they pay no attention. So it's actually better for the clients to invest in their transformation, invest in their change, because when people invest, they are more invested in the result. They're more willing to put into practice the principles, because it's not information alone that's going to bring transformation. It's information plus implementation that equals transformation. And if they're not invested, then the implementation could be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. It sounds hard. But when they pay for it, they're like, I'm going to get my money's worth and I'm going to put into practice every last word that is said. And then they get better results. It's funny how that works. Now, let me give you another example. Let's say I had a Ferrari, right? And I had a Ferrari that I'm going to sell to you. A Ferrari is normally about $247,000 for a new Ferrari, but I'm going to cut you a deal. I've got this Ferrari, and I'm going to be like, I will sell this to you for $2,000. What is the first thought that's going to come out of your mind? Let's say you don't know me, and I'm like, hey, I got this Ferrari, $2,000 for you. You're going to be asking, is it stolen? You're gonna ask, is this illegal? Am I going to go to jail as some sort of accomplice if I give you money for this? Or do you own it? Is it yours? There's gonna be so many questions that if I'm trying to sell you a $247,000 car for way too cheap, you're going to be thinking that there's something not right about this picture, and it's going to make you feel uneasy. Well, that's how it is with coaching, because coaching is already a premium service. Coaching is many times in coaching, you're helping people to lose weight where they've already paid thousands of dollars on these fad diets, these yo-yo diets where they put on weight and they lose it, put on weight and they lose it. They paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for multiple programs and workout programs in different ways. They've tried to lose weight and nothing's worked. And now you're gonna go coach them for like $500. You're gonna coach them for $1,000 to go get this result that they couldn't accomplish with their $7,000 already invested in the hole. That's not likely to happen. You're going to coach them, so for $1,000, you're going to coach them for 12 months, and you're going to help them along the ways. You can't live off of that. That doesn't even make sense. So pricing is part of your brand strategy, because one of the principles I teach in my book is that in my book, I show that if you are the best, no one expects you to be the cheapest. And if you're the cheapest, no one expects you to be the best. And so having lower prices is actually an indication, it's a red flag that they don't actually believe in the transformation that you promise. If your prices declare your confidence, your capabilities, and how much you actually believe in your ability to impact people's lives. And so when someone's trying to promise a premium results, but they're asking for penny prices, then I'm like, there's something not right about this. It doesn't add up. So one of the reasons why health coaches have a hard time acquiring health clients is because their prices are too low. And if they raise their prices, a funny thing's gonna happen. A lot of times people are like, if I'm having a hard time getting clients when my prices are low, then if I raise my prices, it'll be even harder. But what I've seen actually happens many times when health coaches will raise their prices, they actually are able to convert more clients, and they get more paying clients that are excited to pay them, and at a higher price. And it's part of the reason is because it's like you're trying to sell a Ferrari for $2,000. That don't make no sense, and so it eliminates some of those concerns. And people want to work with the best, and they're not interested in working with the rest. So by being able to allow your prices to reflect your capabilities, the value that you have, and how you're able to help the people. So contrary to popular belief, the high ticket prices are not a red flag for a scam. In fact, I would be concerned if they're low ticket prices for a premium result. That doesn't add up. And in my book, I go into 7 reasons why selling high ticket prices are better for everyone involved. It's not just for you, but it's also better for your clients. So that's something I go into more detail there. And then the last money myth that we're going to talk about is that making money quickly online is always a scam. This is a money scam that many people believe, still confused about money. Because if you look at it, it's interesting that there is a screenshot of a news article that was describing about what is the salary that is needed in order to live comfortably in Tampa, Florida, or St. Petersburg. And it's interesting where it said the salary needed for a single adult was $94,000, $432 in Tampa, Florida. And people were like, yeah, that sounds about right. And I was just talking to my sister who's in San Francisco, and she's like, this is, the rates on here are intense, and I need to make some more money because living in the city is expensive. San Francisco, prices are going up. And she's like greatly looking for a roommate who's working full-time that could help pay for some of the apartment, because just one household income hasn't been enough anymore. And she's a nurse who gets some generous funds. But and then the national average is 93,933, where 2 working adults and 2 children raises it to over $209,000, $498. And that's the salary needed to live comfortably. And so what people do is they have 2 ideas when they think about this, is where they're like, okay, well, that's why you got to live frugally. And there's only 2 ways to change your financial situation. And only one of those ways will actually create wealth for you. And only one of them can make you rich. The first way is for you to decrease your expenses. And there's only so much that you can decrease. And to people say, live frugally, cut costs, cut expenses, and cut expenses as much as possible. But it's like, never has anyone ever shrinked their way to wealth. You're not going to shrink your way to wealth. There's only so much that you can take away and minus and subtract in order for you to generate wealth. Or if you want to be rich, then the second way is the only way that could really get you, help you to be rich. And that is to increase your income. When you increase your income, there is no limit to how much you could make when you learn high income skills that pay your bills. It's through learning high income skills that allowed me to make $10,000 a month in my early 20s, where before that, I didn't know how to make money at that level. And it's because I was working on a different mindset. I was still confused about money, and I was believing these scams, these money scams that were so taught by well-intended friends, families, mentors, but they didn't know. And so what we have to do is learn the skills. What are some high income skills? High income skills is like book marketing, learning how to be a published author, learning how to coach is a high income skill, learning how to speak in public speaking. Warren Buffett, who's one of the wealthiest men alive, he says the single greatest skill that anybody can learn, and the skill that he is most proud of, that he's most grateful that he learned, is that of public speaking. No matter what career or background or field that you have, learning to speak in public and share your ideas one to many is one of the highest paid skills in the marketplace. And what I learned in public speaking is that it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money in a long period of time. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, well, first of all, it's like wealth is more measured in speed than it is in actual amounts. And so what you look at it, I'll give you an example. So let's say that you made $1 million. If you made $1 million, are you wealthy? And some will say, yes. Some will say, well, I don't know. It depends. What does it depend on? Let's say you made $1 million working at minimum wage or as a manager at McDonald's, and it took you 40 years to make $1 million. During your entire 40-year career working at McDonald's, are you wealthy? No. But if you make that same $1 million and you make it in a year, then are you wealthy? Well, now we're talking. But what if you take that? Let's say it's not $1 million. Let's say it's 6 figures. Let's say it's $100,000. If you made that $100,000 and you learn to make that in a month, is that wealthy? Well, yeah. We're talking, starting to accelerate. But if you learn to take that $100,000 you used to make in a month and now you make it in a week, now are you wealthy? Yeah. So you start to see that wealth is measured more in speed than it is in actual amounts. So what I found, what I realized is that I used to one of the times I had a breakthrough, and I recognize this, was the first time that I made $40,000 in a day from speaking. And in speaking, when I had my first $40,000 day, I was like, whoa, it is easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than a little money in a long period of time. So the average, like I used to work at a mechanic shop, the average mechanic makes about $36,000 a year. So if you are going to, like, it is so much easier to be able to make that $40,000 in a day than it would be to work for a year at a mechanic shop making $36,000 and to live comfortably in Tampa, Florida. Praise God, I don't live in Florida or a big city, really. I like where I live, but to live comfortably in these cities, it's like $36,000 doesn't even cut the check. Now there needs to be multiple breadwinners, and if you're single, then having more roommates to be able to cover the cost, and it's a lot harder, the cost of living. So I find that it's like so many times we are warned about these get rich quick schemes, and you're like, oh, you got to be careful about this get rich quick scheme. And then people will be like, is this one of those get rich quick schemes? And I would just be like, you better hope it's a get rich quick scheme, because you don't want to get rich slow, do you? I mean, seriously, like, have you seen the cost of living? The prices are going sky high and the wages are not. So I'd rather know how to make money faster rather than slower. That's exhausting. And when you look at it, it's so fascinating to me that over and over, we are so often warned about stay away, beware of those get rich quick schemes, but nobody ever warned us about the stay broke for the rest of your life scheme. It's like, who's warning about this? Because you're so quick to be like, oh, it's get rich quick scheme. No. But when it comes to the stay broke for the rest of the life scheme, nobody's talking, like, who's talking about that? And it's like, there's money scams that are confusing people left and right, and very few people are warning to help people to overcome these money myths and lies that are keeping people stuck and not breaking through to the next level. And when you really look at the word scheme, when you say get rich quick scheme, it kind of sounds scary, but the word scheme simply, it comes from like schema, which simply means a plan. It's like you have a plan for wealth that you will be able to get rich faster than if you were, say, to do it on your own, or if you were to take years, or if you're going to make $1 million in 40 years, or if you could make $100,000 in a year, in a month. It's like, it just means that you have a plan. And, you know, I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said those who fail to plan are planning to fail. It's like, you better hope you have a get rich quick plan, because we are like, the prices of inflation are going higher. They're not going down. So your ability to earn needs to be faster, not slower. And so it's like, you want to look for ways that you're able to make more in less time rather than making less in more time. And so many people make it difficult to break through because they are closing their ears and shutting their eyes and turning away from anything that is even gendering that is going to help you to grow your business and understand the marketing, so you could share your health knowledge online and get paid a premium price. And so where you're not forced to go work at your day job or your career or your other business, where your passion and your love is in helping people transform their health. Wouldn't you like to do this full time? Wouldn't you like your business to not just be making peanuts, but enough to be able to financially support yourself, your family, maybe future children in the future? Then we have to learn high income skills like marketing, like book publishing, like public speaking, like coaching, and learning how to sell higher priced items to people who have larger discretionary income that are willing to pay a premium, because there's a lot of them out there. And I like the verse in where Proverbs says in Proverbs 10:22, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. Because another money scam, and I'll just give you a bonus, is thinking that, well, with more money means more problems. But I'd rather have rich people problems than poor people problems, to just being frank. And it's like with more money, you're able to pay for speed. You're able to do things faster. You're able to cut the check, to cut the line. You're able to invest in mentorship. You're able to have resources to make a difference in people's lives in a way that you otherwise couldn't. And it's like, we get to choose, like, do nothing, keep getting the same results, and doing the same thing, expecting different results, which we've all heard is a definition of sanity, and realizing that nothing changes if nothing changes. But I came to a point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I was learning, how can I learn these high income skills that would help me to build a business? And as I started to grow my business, people were starting to ask me, they're like, how are you doing this? What are you doing that's breaking these sales records? How have you been growing your business to multiple six figures? And I want to know what has been working for you. And because people have been asking me, that's what has compelled me to start packaging and putting together some of the content, some of the books. And so I put together the book on high ticket health coaching. And in this book, I go into greater detail for those who are interested in, you can put it on the screen, for those who are interested in understanding these high income skills so that you can learn high ticket health coaching. If you have a health education business or you desire to start or scale one, then I encourage you to grab a copy of this book and just comment the word book down below. I'd be happy to send you a free copy of my book, and all you got to do is cover the costs of shipping, and I will pay for the book. I'll send it out to you wherever you want me to send it, and just comment book below. And I would be happy to share with you what are some of the lessons that I've learned in growing a health education business to impact the lives of thousands of people through our company, and some of the lessons that you could apply to your business as well. So what we've talked about today is the biggest scam to avoid in high ticket health coaching is being still confused about money. And some of the reasons we get like that is by taking advice from people who are also been scammed. So my encouragement to you is really open your mind to seeing something different, because the same thinking that got you here is not necessarily going to get you there. And I realize in my experience, by taking mentorship and getting the guidance, I've been able to get so much further than I would have without investing in the right mentors to help me to close the gap. So thank you so much for watching, friends. Comment book if you want a copy of the book, and like, follow, subscribe, be a part of this journey if you want more content like this. I go live every week, and I look forward to seeing you later. And remember, God doesn't call a qualified, He qualifies a called. So have a great day, and God bless.